Hi everyone, it's Rita. I'm an Akashic Record reader and accessor, and I had my small group meeting this morning. If you want to join us, it's at Patreon, Shine Your Inner Light. And I was guided to open up the Akasha, the Akash. So I have the Akasha, the Akash open, and I literally just did my share with them, which was really interesting. And But what I'm being told to do is to leave a message here for you. That's not on my Patreon group. And it's like the earth is going to go, we're going to go through a lot of things very acutely, a lot very soon. And it's going to be like a like a kabamba, 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 kabanga, bambamba. And it's like the earth and world leaders and countries and a lot of things are getting shaken up for people that they didn't expect. And they put a lot of faith in certain groups or people, and they feel let down, and they feel like there's a lot of conflict, a lot of like, stuff going on. And the results will be a lot of tragedy for some people. And so, what the Akash would remind us of is that there is no death, there is no separation from each other. The more you can get back into a place of loving each other, holding each other in the highest space of joy and happiness, and loving them, and just holding that space of knowing that everyone is doing the best they can. And it may seem really dire for some people. It's already feeling dire for some people. But the greatest gift you can give yourself is knowing your creator capacity and knowing that you chose to come here at this time in history of this planet. And as much as there's a renaissance sort of happening, it's like this twist of new earth, old earth is becoming more and more dramatic. It's really strong knowing and desire that you came here to create at this time, and you create through how you focus into this environment. So your ability to see certain things that don't feel good to you or don't resonate with you, and then to move back into a good feeling place, is really important and critical. It's almost like your mind's going to be blown away by some of the stuff that certain people do. And it's okay if you've gone through some stuff that was really horrific. It's okay to go back to a place of leaning into joy, looking for things to feel good about. Um, a lot of people have experienced a lot of death and what's perceived as losses of people in the last few years. And it's easy to feel like they're not in your space anymore, but that's not true. It's like their energy never ceased to exist. And the more that you can get back into a higher vibration place using crystals and things, I've actually channeled a prayer that I'll put on the site at some point to download that helps you to access people who have passed using the rose quartz. And I'm more present ever and ever about these prayers and meditations, especially if they're done in a certain way, how they really open up your capacity in cells, and combining it with crystals and stones. So the more that you can get yourself back into a good energy space, the easier it is to start to feel good and to also realize that your ability and capacity to feel joy does not diminish the love and connection you have with somebody who's died. There's like this cycle of energy that's happening that's kind of expanding people. And so it's creating a lot of shifts, especially around I mean, I want to say it's around the sense of belonging, because that's the strongest human need, is belonging. But I'm hearing that it's a little bit different than that. It's like this disconnect is, it's like we're being torn away from the duality, that way we perceive duality. Like if you're not happy, then you're sad. And it's not, we're moving away, totally away from this whole sense of duality. There's a space you'll have to exist in that's not one or the other. And it's unfamiliar. So give yourself a lot of grace and love and compassion and support. We don't live in an environment where there's a limited pie. Everything is available to us. And I'm being drawn back to the Monroe Institute and the Hemisync sounds that connect the left and create a new frequency by connecting your left and right hemisphere, and allowing you to, with intention, to go into other realms of consciousness. And in the film that we've been working on, we explore some of this, where you actually see visuals of energetic changes and interpretations of guides and angels. You are always loved, you are always supported, and these energies wait for you to engage them. We live in a world where it's the law of attraction, so energies can't insert themselves into your environment unless you invite them. Good or bad, you can invite good and bad energy into what you focus on and what you think about. But getting back to this limited pie, we live in an abundant universe. There's more joy and health and happiness and wealth on this planet for more people than it's ever been before. And so there's not a limitation. If this person has this, then you can't. It's like everything is available. It's just a perception and what you choose to accept and see and feel and visualize. I've been studying, doing some stuff with Peter Sage, and I posted earlier about the Einstein quote about being in a friendly or unfriendly universe. And he made he's been talking about in some of the shares around financial stuff. He talks about how most people, or a lot of people, get triggered around money because they have tied up their self-worth and self-validation in money. And so if for any reason they feel threatened, that somebody's trying to take their money, or they have to use their money or give their money, or these obligations and things around money, then it's a trigger that they're not enough. It's like, my money. You have your money, I have my money. You know? Or let me see, I will give you this little bit of money. It's a little to me, so it's okay. It doesn't affect my validation of myself. You know? So Peter's been talking about this, and it's fascinating. And you know, I have seen myself in some of his reflections. I've seen friends in some of his reflections around money. And it's like, he talks about how 7 years ago he had been in a lawsuit with Hewlett Packard, and he owed like $450,000, and everything had been taken from him. And his judge had held him in contempt of court and put him in prison for 6 months. And he came out of all that, and he knew how to create in the quantum field. So he wasn't afraid or worried, because he knew he had the tools to create what he needed. And now he's 7 years later, he's in this beautiful place on the Canary Islands, involved in different businesses and coaching people. And he just ran a marathon in the Arctic. You know, he's like a really cool dude, raising money for other people. And he's so humble, and he works out of his heart. And I just love the connection with him. And I would love to experience working with him in this film project with his team, and playing with energy more, because he knows how to play with energy and stuff in the quantum field. And some of this comes out of some of the stuff from the Monroe Institute, which I've been drawn to. So everything is possible, everything is available for you. The only limitation is what you place on yourself. And there are a lot of people that do live in this space of feeling that this is what we have to work with. We are a very limited pie, but we're not in a limited pie. You know, it's always expanding, it's always growing. And it's based on where you take the end game, the assumption. Where do you live? Do you live in the assumption of abundance and feeling abundant and feeling like you're a multimillionaire, and owning that energy space of being a multimillionaire, and being appreciative for the seen and unseen in your world, with abundance, and being open and receptive um, to seen and unseen opportunities coming into your world to create and to own and live in that energy of abundance. So a couple big shares from the Akasha, the Akash. To not have people to be totally surprised about some things that happen in the very near future, but to be focused on what you want to be experiencing more of, and living more in that assumption. And if you decide to visit some of these things that feel like monolithic disasters, or horrific genocidal sort of things, just be conscious of where you put your thoughts and how you put your thoughts and energy into the end assumption. It's like they don't want to say anything more about any of that. And there have been atrocities happening on your planet for a long time. So I was trying to, like, where is this going to happen? And they're like, they're not sharing the thing to understand is that there is no death, and that your energy keeps going. And that's we started, they said that's what your film's about, revelation of you. If you go to www.revelationofyou.com, you can put in your email address and I'll send you a little email with some, and we'll be updating you on, I'm going to be doing crowdfunding stuff soon. And we want to do some more filming, but what we've seen, and I'll show you some pictures, but it's like before and after pictures of the electromagnetic field. I've done over 250 photos. They're amazing. Beautiful pictures of people. I had people show up that I didn't even know to have their photo taken, with objects and connections. And I mean, the things, sound, frequency devices, we've done all sorts of things, and it's been really interesting. And then we've done some interviews around the science of this with Dr. Eben Alexander, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Konstantin Kortokov, who's an amazing guy who taught, he basically studied ESP to communicate with the astronauts in Russia. He's a professor, a physicist at the university in St. Petersburg. He's got 19 patents with these Kirlian photography sort of things, but he's developed a thing called the BioWell that you put your fingertips in, it reads the gas pressure on, the discharge on them, and works with the Chinese meridians. And on the visual, you get to see the energy field of the person. It's amazing. You're amazing. Your energy that never ceases, and your cells listen to you every day. So get out in the sun, enjoy the sun. Tell the people you love them, and that you'll always love them and you'll always be a part of their lives. Even if this goes, they're there. You're there supporting them. Much love to you all.